So we did it, guys. It's done. We just had a baby. Poopa over here. Okay.
I'm so tired of people telling you I'm doing things. I need you to stop accusing me of playing games. I've been down.
What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Chanel, and this is GCTV. It's just me today because due to this whole coronavirus crap, me and Guy have been separated. He's been home and I've been home, and we just don't want to like try to get each other sick at this point, and then we have to think of the baby and stuff. So that's the reason why he's not in this video today. But he'll be back in the next video, of course. And it don't matter because today's all about me. So, bye guys. Today, I am going to talk about my labor and delivery experience. A lot of people have been asking me how my labor went. Did I cry? Would you do it again? You know, all that stuff. And I'm tired of kind of giving the same story every time. So I'm just like, you know what? Let me just make a YouTube video so that way everybody could just watch it and leave me the hell alone. So let's get into the video. So I gave birth on January 28th at 10:09 or 10:06 a.m. Can't remember which one. I'm just gonna let everybody know right now. I was only in labor for 5 hours. Yeah, 5 hours. Call me lucky. Hell yeah. But let me just tell you, within those 5 hours, sweetheart, I went through hell. So let me tell you about it. Everything happened on January 27th, literally just the day before. I was sitting on the bed and I was folding all of my daughter's clothes. So Guy had washed all of Alani's clothes and I was folding everything like down to the socks and everything. I'm sitting on the bed and I'm starting to feel cramps. And I'm like, it feels like when you're about to get your period. That's literally the feeling it was. So I'm like, all right, something going on. So I was like, all right, let me call my sister or my best friend, Christina. So I call them and I'm like, hey guys, like, am I supposed to be feeling cramps or anything like that? So they said, oh, you're probably having early labor pain. Now, I thought this at first only because my original due date wasn't until February 13th. So at this point, we had another 2 more weeks or so. So I'm not thinking I really was in labor either. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me go and ask a specialist. I'm gonna call my mama. Went to my mother's room and I told her what I'm feeling and everything. And this half tells me the same thing. Oh, you're in early labor pain, Chanel. You know, you're dramatic. I'm like, am I really that dramatic? But she did say, if you feel you need to go to the doctor, go ahead. Because it's not possible, the fact that you could be in labor. So I was like, you ain't gotta tell me twice. I come into the room and I told Guy, like, hey, I want to go to the doctor. I just want to make sure everything is okay. Of course, Guy is like, why you want to go? You don't need to go. I'm like, we're going. Let's go. My doctor was only 10 minutes from my house. It's not far at all. So we drive to the hospital and everything. So they checked me. They said I'm not dilated at all. My water didn't break. However, I was having contractions, which I knew. So now I have the gown on and everything. So I'm walking around the hospital with Guy, as you see in my labor and delivery vlog. That's when you saw me walking with him. The pain was coming every, I would say like 6 minutes. It wasn't coming back to back yet. It was coming like around that time. So I was able to just feel the pain, go through it, and then it will be finished. And I could talk. Like I was able to like still act like myself. And I'm like, all right, I could do this. It gets worse. They checked me and they said, okay, well, since you're not dilated or anything, we're going to send you home. And if you feel these contractions, you're going to have to walk around your house. And I'm like, y'all really sending me home? So then we drive home. Let me tell you. Now, remember I told you, my doctor was not far from my house. That was less than a 10-minute drive. From leaving the hospital, coming to my house, the pain got intensified. It got so bad. It was like calling for my mama type of pain, okay? It was only in my back now. It wasn't in my stomach. It was only my back. I felt like a dinosaur was kicking me in my back. I was like, no. There's no way. No way I could stay in this house feeling like this. Before I knew it, guy was in his freaking boxers and briefs and went to sleep. So I lay down. The pain was coming. I was getting those contractions every 2 minutes at this point. 1 minute, it was hitting me like this. Every time I was getting a contraction, I was hitting guy like this on his back, and he was getting so upset with me. He's like, stop touching me. I'm like, babe, I need to go back to the hospital. Something isn't right. You know what this jackass tells me? He says, go back to sleep. Do you know what I wanted to do to that man? I'm like, you want me to go to sleep? Are you dumb? You know what? He pissing me off. I ain't got no choice but to ride this out tonight. I went like this to turn to go to my right side. As I'm turning, all I felt was my whole water broke on the bed. And I'm like, guy, my water just broke. Guess who springs into action all of a sudden? He's like, what? I'm like, no. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. It's not that serious, sweetheart. So I get up now. I go to the bathroom to change my whole bottom half at this point, and I'm still leaking fluid. I'm getting dressed. The pain was hitting me so bad. I had to take a break every step of anything I was doing. I put a shoe on, a contraction came, I had to stop. I had to wait for that to finish to go put another shoe on. I had to stop. It was very, very painful. I couldn't handle it at all. So now we get to the car, drive into the hospital. Guy was driving through red lights at this point. We got there within 5 minutes, honestly. We get to the hospital, went inside to try to get me a wheelchair. They wasn't letting him get a wheelchair to bring it outside. I'm like, are you kidding me? I couldn't walk. My body was in such shock. I could not walk. They had the wheelchair right there as soon as I walked in the hospital. So then now we go upstairs to triage. The people look at me like they saw a ghost. The lady's like, didn't you just get discharged like an hour ago? I'm like, yeah. Can you like come right now? Like I'm having a contraction. Now they put me into like a little reclining chair and everything. But in my labor and delivery vlog, that's what you see when I had a yellow shirt on and I had the bonnet on. This is the second time I came back, and that's why I look like I'm in more pain. They had put Guy in the waiting room, which I don't understand why they do stuff like that. I'm like, he's the father. Why are you letting him leave the room? But I didn't really care at this point. I was in so much pain. They putting me now into labor and delivery room where I'm going to actually give birth. I immediately asked for the epidural. I said, give me an epidural right now. The doctor comes in, I would say within 10 minutes when I got into the room. The doctor actually came pretty quick. He gets everything ready. You have to sit on the edge of the bed and you have to hunch like this. And a nurse was in front of me, this Jamaican lady, and I was holding on to her. I'm gonna just tell you this right now. Anybody who's having a baby, an epidural does not hurt at all. I promise you. It literally felt like a pinch. You know what hurt me more? Getting the damn IV in my freaking hand. That's what hurt more. Not even the epidural. It's unfortunate, but you can possibly have a contraction when you're getting an epidural. And that's what happened to me. And trust me, I was hollering. To be hunched like this. And remember, like I said, my contraction was all in my back. So my back was tightening like this, and I had to just sit still. It was the most uncomfortable thing you're probably gonna experience. That's the only thing I'm gonna tell you when you're getting epidural. But other than that, it did not hurt me at all. The guy finished with everything. They keep the thing inside your back, so you could really only lay on your back after you get it done. The epidural worked within 15 minutes after getting done. I was completely numb. I felt nothing at all. It's starting to become daylight now. Guy was in the room. My mother came. My sister came. I was extremely nauseous. It could have been from a medication and I didn't eat. I'm not too sure because I had Pitocin and of course I had the epidural. So I think it was just a mixture of the medication. I started throwing up all over the place. I was like, bleh, bleh, bleh. Guy is so unbothered by vomit. He's literally holding my head like this. That's all I felt. They try to get a bucket. I'm like, the vomit's already all on the floor at this point. And after that, I felt way better. So now it gets settled at 9 o'clock. So the doctor comes in. Now, mind you, this doctor wasn't even my doctor who I've been seeing since I've been pregnant. This is a whole different other man. I've never seen a day in my life. He comes in and tells me, oh, we're gonna have to do a C-section. I'm like, for what? He said that Alani's heart rate was dropping. It was going like up and down or something like that. So they had to get her out as quick as possible. So I wasn't that scared. It was just more like, ugh, I'd rather not have one, but whatever. So now my family comes in, they give me a hug and everything to say bye. The doctor's about to come in to shave me and get me ready, prepped and everything for my C-section. Sutton told me to ask the nurse, can they check me? Because I've noticed now, since I came in, was it 5 o'clock that morning? Nobody had checked me since then. And from when I first came in, I was already 1 centimeter. The nurse said, okay, sure, I'll check you. The lady checked me. She goes, oh my gosh, she's fully dilated. I'm like, fully dilated? Really? It was like a whole movie. Doctors came running in. They put down this big ass light. They pulling me down and everything. They kicked out my stepfather, my mother, and my sister out the room. And then they're like, you're about to push right now. Y'all, when I'm actually sitting there pushing, you know, I always seen it on TV and stuff. When you're actually doing it, I pushed for 10 minutes, I would say. And then Alani came out. Only bad thing that happened now, while Alani was inside of me, she was swallowing her poop because she pooped inside. They had to suction her and everything after they took her out. I didn't get to do skin to skin with her or anything. I literally just saw my kid come out and they took her right over to like the near corner, and I just started hearing like mass suckling going on. I'm like, I don't know what she looks like. In the end, she was fine. They took everything out. They said, however, she did have to go to the ICU and everything. So she went into the little incubator thing and stuff. I just see a glimpse of my baby, and then they took her out of the room and just took her downstairs. So I'm sitting there, my legs up. I start seeing the lady in front of me going like this in front of me. I said, hold the hell up. Did I tear? I had no idea I tore, you know, because you're not feeling anything. So I'm just seeing legit a needle and thread going like this. I'm like, oh my Jesus Christ, I am about to be in so much pain. The same doctor comes, this is like hours later. Like, people came to visit me. Everybody's trying to find the baby. I'm like, she's not here. I have not seen my kid. Anything, okay? So the doctor comes later on that night and he goes, we're gonna have to take the baby across the street. I'm like, across the street where? So there's another hospital directly across the street from where I was. So they said that there wasn't enough space in the ICU where she was at downstairs, and they had to bring her across there. Do you understand how pissed off I was? If there's no space right now, then the other kids that's being delivered, I guess now, should not come down there. Why is my daughter leaving? And then you're leaving me here. That is so retarded. You're pretty much telling me you're going to take my daughter. So I had no choice but to send her. So I had to sign off a paper. Guy went with them when they transported her over there. And she was fine. You know, I was able to call the area she was in the whole time, and they gave me information on her. They said she was improving very well. Then she was off tubes, and it was like she was doing so great within a day. So I was like, all right, I guess I feel a little better. Now for me, the mama, do you understand the recovery stage of getting cut? That is so painful. After all of that we do, whether you get cut here or down there, you have to do a bowel movement. Do you understand the pain I was in when I had to do a bowel movement? And I have a whole stitch right there. Men, y'all better respect us. Well, I pretty much had to just recover and everything. They discharged me. I was able to go across the street. Was it 2 days later, 3 days? And then I finally got to hold my kid. And I'm gonna tell you, when you finally hold a baby that you was carrying for 9 months, it seems so surreal. Like, I'm staring at her, I'm like, I can't believe this is my kid. I'm so proud of myself, the fact that I was able to bring life into this world right now. Guy did so well. I love him so much. That boy literally was there for me through everything, my whole pregnancy, the whole labor. I'm actually surprised he literally watched me push everything out, okay, down to pushing out my placenta. He's so weird. I'm like, what is wrong with you? So right now the baby is doing very well. She's actually turned in 2 months, but she is so beautiful. She is a very beautiful little girl, and I can't wait for everybody to see her. So that's it for my story time. I want to hear some people actually with their labor story, because I know everybody has a crazy labor story. Would I do it all over again? No. But anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Subscribe, comment, everything. We will come out with another video very, very soon. So I'm out of here. You dig?